Hey guys, I wanted to show you a project I've been working on for a couple of weeks. It's a Raspberry Pi Zero inside of an original Game Boy, and I've seen a few people do this project. In fact, I saw one pop up on Reddit just a couple of days ago, but this one's got a couple of pretty cool features that I wanted to show off. So first up, I've got a 3.5-inch composite display, and then I drilled out a couple of holes and added the buttons that I took out of an original NES controller for X and Y buttons. Then on the bottom I've got the original headphone jack, which still works, and it does disable the speaker whenever you plug in your headphones. On this side I've got an external USB port for keyboard or mouse or whatever. On this side I've got micro USB for charging and mini HDMI for plugging into your TV. Then on the back, on the inside I had to drill out the middle screw posts to give myself some more room. So where those holes were, I added a couple of tiny buttons for L and R. And it works pretty well. They're nice and out of the way and discreet looking, which I like. And then on the inside, the battery compartment still works. I've got a 2000 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery that I got from Adafruit. And then I've got a USB hub in here. That's where the external USB is hooked up to. But then I had a spare port, so I added Bluetooth to it because the Pi Zero doesn't have that built in. And then I've got a couple of buttons that are hooked up to the screen for adjusting contrast and brightness, that kind of thing. But I think my favorite feature, I took an original Game Boy cartridge, took it apart, and I wired up an SD to micro SD card adapter. I desoldered all the chips and soldered it up to some of the pins. And then I took the cartridge reader from the Game Boy and wired up those pins to the SD card pins or pads on the back of the Raspberry Pi Zero. So what that gave me is a custom Game Boy cartridge that acts as an SD card adapter. So I can take my SD card, which has RetroPie on it, put it in there, put it in my Game Boy, and there we go. So once it finishes booting up here, it's pretty standard as far as RetroPie setups go. You got Emulation Station here running with all your different emulators. It handles pretty much everything up through Game Boy Advance pretty well, and then stuff like Final Burn Alpha and MAME run pretty well as well. There's hundreds of videos on YouTube of the Pi Zero playing different emulators, so you can get a pretty good idea of how it handles things, but I've been pretty impressed. I'll be posting some pictures that you can look in the description that I'll link to of the build. I probably won't do a full how-to guide or anything, but feel free to ask me any questions in the comments, and I will try and get back to you. Thanks for watching.